we are live again. Hey, hi everyone. Welcome for another episode of the Puppet Podcast. I'm CaroBD, Caroline. I'm a French speaker from Montreal. I'm in Canada right now, and I'm connecting with puppeteers from all around the world to talk about our art, to promote it, to just cherish the love that we have for this kind of art, and connect in this weird time that we are right now. So I have wonderful guests tonight. But just before we go into the interview, and like as everyone coming in, I just want to promote this Patreon account that we have and this wonderful workshop we will have this Friday night. It's the Friday night for Eastern, the time zone, but it will be from California. So write down where you are right now in the chat, and let's bring in the screen this Swazzle, the Swazzle brothers, those twin Patricks and Sean Johnson, who do this wonderful workshop for our Patreon member. So how to create quality puppet mouth palates. So if you are curious about that, and to meet those guys, they have done a podcast a few weeks ago. So you could go to check this and just look in the description to have more detail about this workshop, who come in really soon. Yes. So everyone, I'm so happy. Social media brings you a lot of people. Sometimes they pop, maybe you know this person, maybe you, and you discover more and more people. And I'm so happy that I get the chance to discover this wonderful lady who is so involved into puppetry, like in the politics of it, but also in the practice and in the education that it's bringing to puppetry. So please welcome everyone in the screen, Mrs. Edna Bland.
Hey! Bonjour!
Bonjour!
Bonjour! Comment allez-vous?
Je vais très bien. Et toi?
Bien.
Bien, gracias. Yeah, a little bit of French.
Hey, I'm a woman of the world, right?
Yes, I love that. Yeah, so people say hi to you also. We have Christopher and people from Maine right there, Georgia, Virginia, and Argentina watching right now. So that's
Hola,
cool.
Argentina. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, yes, that's so cool. Yeah, and thank you very much to be part of the show.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Caroline. Appreciate it.
Yes. So I introduced you as a woman of like politics and education, but it's kind of, I love to have your entrance, how you present yourself, how you get into puppetry.
Okay. So, well, I am an educator, and I'm a theater teacher in a performing arts middle school in Sanford, Florida. That's between Orlando and Daytona Beach, if you want to know. And but originally from New York, from Long Island, born and raised, and lived in New York City. I'm also an arts integration specialist and a teaching artist. So, but prior to becoming a teacher, I was in the entertainment business and worked at several record companies and even in the radio and different other organizations. And one particular one was the Emmy Awards. And I worked for the Emmy Awards for like 7 years of my life. It was fabulous, right in the heart of Times Square too. So besides the award ceremonies, we would also have different types of events for the members. And one was called the Silver Circle Award, for people who were in television for 25 years or more, celebrating people in television. So one particular year, way back in the 90s, we honored Caroll Spinney. And Caroll Spinney, as you know, the late Caroll Spinney's Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. So as we were talking on the phone and doing business, okay? So notice I didn't say I was into puppets as a kid. This is as an adult, okay? So I'm talking to Caroll Spinney, who, sounds just like Big Bird, but with a lower register, And I told him, I said, look, I have a secret to tell you, a confession. He's like, what? I said, I always wanted to be a real life kid on Sesame Street. So really, I said, yeah, when I was a kid, I met, I watched Sesame Street as a kid, like most of us, and I saw Gordon and Susan, and they were the only Black couple on television at that time. And there was something about Susan that I just wanted to be, there was Gordon and Susan, they adopted Miles. I wanted to be their child, right? So my mom, even as a kid, she took me to an autograph signing where Loretta Long was, Susan. And I remember her beautiful smile. And I told her, I said, I want you to be my mom. I love my parents, but I'm like, I want you to be my mom. And I remember her embracing me. And it was a feeling that just lasted forever. So I tell him the story and he loved it. And he goes, why don't you come to the Sesame Street set? And so he invites me to the set. So I go there, Carolyn, oh my goodness, even though you see the lights and you see the, the cameras, but I just regressed back to being like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old little girl watching Sesame Street, the 1, 2, 3 steps. And there's Mr. Hooper's store. It was beautiful. I actually don't even remember seeing the adults there, the human people that day, but I saw the Puppeteers. And I remember it was Fran Brill who was, operating Zoe, and Marty Robinson, who was doing Telemonster. And I just was in awe of watching them. And I fell in love with the art form of puppetry like that. I mean, it was love at first sight. And I said to Caroll, I said, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I totally want to do this. So long story short, he says, if you're really serious about this, okay. And he said, you are allowed to come here anytime you like. And I came as much as I could. And I just sat in the back and in the corner and just observed and watched and learned. During, filming breaks, he would come over to me and talk to me and, show me different things in the break room, in the commissary for lunch. It was just like he totally just mentored me. And it was just a wonderful experience. And that's how I got into puppetry. I instantly fell in love with the art form. And I went from there. I joined the Puppetry Guild, became the vice president of the New York City Guild. Now I'm on the board of the national, board of directors of the Puppeteers of America. And I just absolutely loved it. So this is the other extra part of the story, right? I go to an event at Madison Square Garden, like this is say a couple of years later, and with my sister. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to the restroom before we go in to sit down. I walk in the restroom and who is there? Loretta Long, Susan from Sesame Street. So I call her Loretta, I call her by her name, which, gets the attention, and share with her. She came to sit with us at the event. We just instantly became friends. She invited me to go on tour with her, with my puppet princess. So the woman who I grew up wanting to be my TV mom, my make-believe mom, I actually got to work with as an adult. And so it was
incredible.
Yeah. And so she mentored me and spoke into my life and, just helped me to just move forward in the art of puppetry.
Wow, that's an amazing story. It's so rich of like passion and I always believe in life, like when you wish something or it's not a wish, but you saw it, like, or you get it in your mind, it's happening. So it's kind of a good example.
Yeah. And, if somebody is determined to do something, whatever you love to do, right? Just do it with excellence. You go in there 200%, and be willing to risk, and I wanted to become a Henson puppeteer. And I tried and I tried and tried, and I just could not get in. And remember, I told you I worked for the Emmy Awards, right? So I even went to the membership department and I said, give me Kevin Clash's phone number. He was the Muppet coordinator at that time. And I called him at home. Like, that's how passionate I was and how, okay,
Boom.
at home. And I'm like, I want to be. You know? He didn't answer.
That's so cool. I love this example. Cherish your goal. And
Yeah.
and it's bringing me to my first question, because it was kind of the introduction, but I have kind of the formal question that I always ask. And the first one is, why do you cherish the art of puppetry?
I love what it does to people, from babies to adults. I love seeing the smiles on people's faces, on babies' faces. You know, you could be in the worst mood and the right puppet will come out and it'll instantly lift you, you know?
Yeah.
I use puppetry as a tool, you know, of course, as an educator, but still something, like I said, to just lift people's spirits. And so that's why I cherish, you know, the art form. It's, you know, I love all aspects of puppetry. I'm a hand ride puppeteer, but I just love what puppetry does and transcends people, and even adults, having them regress back to children.
That's so cool. That's true. It's simple and it's great and effective.
Yeah.
And you told us your crush, like, how did your crush for puppetry happen? But maybe you have another story about a crush moment. You know, sometimes we fall in love with this art, or we see, as you said, the effect of someone. Like, do you have a moment specifically in the past that you remember?
Yes, yes. Wonderful moments, but one in particular that I was doing puppetry in my church in New York City. And so there were times that we would go out to into the parks and everything like that to spread the good news, you know?
Yeah.
And so I had a puppet at that time, and I was just standing there, you know, the preacher said, okay, everybody bring your children around, come watch the puppet show, you know? So I was just doing a basic lip syncing, you know, song. And after it was over, a woman, an adult woman, came up to me and said, you know, the puppet that you had, that doll, she called it the doll that you had, remind me of a doll that I had as a child. And while I was listening to your song, it was like I felt like God was healing the hurting little girl inside of me. And, you know, before then, I kind of just saw puppet as, you know, kind of like entertainment, you know, fun thing. But I knew then that this was a life-changing tool, that really it can affect people in very profound ways. And I just started looking at the art form, you know, very seriously and just in a whole different light.
Wow, I love this. That's true. I agree so much. It's a healing tools.
Yeah.
And my next question is about, like, the path. Like, in your opinion, what would be the best field of study to become a puppeteer?
Wow. Oh boy, because puppetry encompasses so many different areas of visual arts and you know, performing arts, engineering. So it's almost like, you know, you can start anywhere and you know, and end up in puppetry. Of course, puppetry is a form of theater arts. So sure, I mean, if you go in an acting route, then yeah, I feel that every single person who does theater should have some kind of interaction with puppetry, should learn the basic art form. So for me, you know, it depends on what you want to be. If you're a builder, then you're more visual art, like I said, in engineering. But if you want to do the performance side of it, then theater, you know, would be probably a better path. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Yeah. And it's funny because everyone have his own opinion. So it's really cool to have yours too. And people, I want to say, you have like 33, maybe 40 people watching right now. If you have any question during the interview and you want me to bring it to Edna, just feel free to write it down in below our live. Yes. And I will take it. I want to know your definition of a puppet. Like, when a kid ask you, what is your definition?
I explain. I actually teach puppetry in, as I mentioned before, in a performing arts school. It's the only puppetry arts elective class in the state of Florida, and I've been teaching it for 4 years, and I've had 150 kids in my program, and I always start them off talking about like what is a puppet, and my definition is that it's this inanimate object, this object that doesn't move, that doesn't have life, that when you bring on these human characteristics, kind of breathe life into it, that it comes alive. So that's how I teach my students, so that not only if it's just a a traditional looking rod puppet or marionette, but it can be a pen or a pencil, anything that you manipulate, you can control in order to come alive, make it come alive.
Yes, it's intentional. It's really great. Yeah, and in your observation, do you feel puppetry is in an ascension? Or maybe it's getting less popular as you observe toward the time?
Oh no, I think it's absolutely getting more popular. Everywhere I look, I see commercials with puppets in it, music videos with puppets in it. It's just a great attention grabber. So there's absolutely an ascension of puppetry. Yeah, so.
I love it. It's a good positivity and a positive message.
Yeah.
So I saw some question coming. So feel free to fill out. I will go to my next one, but maybe we will bring a Esteban question really soon. I want to know if you feel that puppetry like reach is full potential, or like what you see like in the future for puppetry.
Oh wow. It's in the who knows what's in the mind of a creator. So, I think it just will forever evolve. I hope we don't lose the basics and the signature, genres of puppetry, but who knows what's going to be next out there. So
yeah,
I can imagine, fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because when I ask this question, sometimes people say we have like the Renaissance is coming, or the golden age is in the future, or we going through there, or sometimes it's more, as you said, we don't know.
Yeah. We don't know, but just excited what a brilliant mind will come up with next.
Totally. So I have like Esteban who talk about, and I don't know, it will maybe make sense for you, about the E Foundation.
Okay. So Esteban is my friend from Argentina, and we have partnered together to help with English and Spanish. So there's a lot of kids around the world. They start speaking English at a younger age, and so he's my person over there in South America, and I'm over here in North America, and so we're just trying to
Whoa,
spread some love and teach a few people some English.
That's so cool. That's part of what it could bring. And I want to know, what is your biggest purpose as a puppeteer? Like what you dream of, or for you in your own career?
Oh wow. Okay. It would basically I love teaching with puppets, basically. And I would love to travel around the country and even around the world to teach just different subjects, things about, character traits, positive character traits, just spreading some puppet love, right? And as I mentioned before, sometimes puppets are the only way, or just the main way to get people's attention.
Yes.
So I would just love to continue to go around and recruit more people into this amazing art form, but also help to just teach, different concepts using puppetry.
Wow. I can't wait to see what's happening in the future. Like my last question, you answer it, but it's in 10 years. Where do you see puppetry, or maybe where do you see you and puppetry?
I think, like I just said before, just maybe traveling around, but definitely the world we're in right now, a lot of virtual.
Yes.
A lot of virtual. I encourage all my fellow artists, puppeteers to, put your stuff out there, put it online. And the more you do that, just, because you'll just reach more people. You'll reach more people with your amazing art form. And just even though this pandemic has been, horrifying, as we know, but I've actually been enjoying watching so many workshops and and videos and films in the art of puppetry, and learn so much myself, that I've probably been not be able to see before, because you're running around in the world getting so busy. So some virtual stuff, a lot of virtual stuff, and hopefully just seeing puppetry more diverse.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful puppeteers out there, puppeteers of color, Latinx, Native American, just, wonderful puppeteers around the world. And I would love to see more people out there.
Yeah, that's good. And yes, we give value to it. We put it out there, and yes, we promote, and we have agreement right there about adapting to the virtual and how to work from there. That's so cool. And for the end, I always like, for the conclusion, to bring a puppet. And by the way, we have hello from Australia right there, and Netherlands, and New York. Everyone,
yay, New York,
Long Island, right there. So so Christopher say, oh yeah, I will bring this question, like where can we go to see your work, but maybe after we will put the link. But let's go towards the puppet. It's a small screen, but
exactly. And she has a very big head, right? Don't say I have a big head. Hi, Carolina. Oh, let me find you. Where are you? There you go. Hi, Carolina. How are you? So nice to see you. Oh.
Yeah, so pretty. She looks like you.
Yes. Yeah, she's my puppet daughter. So yeah, she was designed by the amazing Deborah Fader, and most puppets are 24 24 without legs, about 26 whatever, so with legs. So Princess is 36. She's the size of a 2-year-old child, and she was designed to look like me. And her eyes are actually made out of spoons and hand painted.
Oh,
yeah,
so cool.
And she's got calves and oops, let me get her in there.
Oh.
And shoes, she's like a she's my Pinocchio.
So cool. And you tell every kind of story. Do you have like a particular story when you work with this puppet?
She sings songs. I have a little children's book and other other stories with her, telling stories, and going to develop more in the virtual world.
Oh yeah,
using Princess and some other puppets too that I have. Can I show you some more?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye bye.
Good night.
So another one that I have here. This is, as I mentioned before, I done puppetry in church. So, oops, get in there, girl. So, oh my. Oops. So this is Sister Edwina, Edwina was my late mom's name. Let me get in there.
Yeah.
And I was raised in church, and so this is a very traditional church lady puppet with her outfit here and her little box hat. And in the faith that I was raised in, we would dress up to go to church. Yeah. Because the concept was you're going to see the King of Kings, so you should dress properly. So she represents all of those church mamas and those church ladies that that went to church. So she's my mama.
So cool, so cool. Yeah. And you do all the voice and singing, everything. You're multidisciplinary.
Yes, I try. Here's one more.
Okay, good. I'm so excited.
Okay, now this is Rosita Maria Oso. And Rosita is pink in, let me get back here, get her correct. So Rosita means pink in Spanish, Maria, which is my middle name, and Oso, which is O-S-O is bear in Spanish. So, being in New York, I lived in New York City, also, and I was around a lot of Latinx people, and I would go to their house, and they would speak Spanish or Spanglish. So that's her character. She speaks Spanglish. I know enough Spanish to get away with it. So
Could you?
Hola, ¿cómo está? How are you doing today?
Good.
See you.
Bueno, mucho calor en Montreal.
Sí, mucho calor in Florida. Yeah. Oh, too much, too hot. So, she's my sweet little teddy bear.
Yeah, I love this character too. And it's funny to bring the language with the puppet. It's kind of like really it's easy to fall into an accent or like to create the character from this. Yeah.
And they all stay, if I create a character, a profile for a puppet, they stay that. They will not be anything else. That's who they are. So yeah, it's like you got to remember all those things going on in your head, right? The magic of puppetry.
Totally. Oh my God, thank you so much. And that was like, I get a blast to just chat with all of this wonderful story. And I want to ask you like also a little bit about like the politics, like what you could say to puppeteers to just get involved into guilds, or as you are part of the Puppeteer of America, like you are on the board. So do you have like a specific word about like getting all together?
Yes, please, of course, please join the boards. Please join UNIMA, which is the International Puppetry Guild. There's an UNIMA USA. And of course, Puppeteers of America. It's just a great network. Go to the festivals. You learn so much. There's things that I have learned that I brought back to my students. And just, and don't be afraid to just dive in, dive in. I've coordinated with some people to do potpourris and to help, to just work together. And the more it's just the better you get. You know how it is when you just practice the art form, the better you get. So that's what's so important about the guilds and your local guild, and of course, getting involved on the national level. So please get out there, get involved, have fun, right?
Yeah.
Right? The best thing to do is just go out there and have fun and play.
Yeah, so true.
We forget to play sometimes.
Yeah, and if people want to see more of your work or learn more about you, where we can find some information?
My website is lovelydaycreativearts.com. That's lovelydaycreativearts.com. Or follow me on Facebook, Lovely Day Arts. And also I do sock puppets called Sock and Sew that I create puppet blanks for and kids for after school programs, conferences, different things like that. So please follow me on Facebook. I'm on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and everything like that. So I want to thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
De rien, plaisir.
So much for inviting me. I really appreciate it, Caroline.
Yeah, and thank you to you for your time, your passion, your great story. You could see on the chat after all this good comment that we get. And yeah, you are amazing. Keep going, keep like involving other people. And yeah, we will have more player into the ground of puppetry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So stay there and we chat after the interview. I will just say the goodbye.
Okay. All right.
So goodbye to you for now. And everyone, thank you for watching. It was a blast again. We always met a lot of passion into the Puppet Podcast. So yeah, feel free to watch other interview on YouTube, the YouTube channel that we have, Puppet, like YouTube and Dash Puppet Podcast. And we have the website and this Patreon workshop who's coming on this Friday evening at 7 for East time. And yeah, it's California. It will be at 5. So yeah, stay tuned to see that. It will be awesome with Swazzles and those brother about moth palettes. So yeah, feel free to join us and look in the description. All the info is right there. Everyone, we see you tomorrow. We have another podcast tomorrow. And yeah, I wish you the best. Stay safe, take care, and play. As Edna say, play. Don't forget to play and see our wonderful world of puppetry. Good night, everyone. Bye. Learn how to get your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Join our Patreon page now. Link in the description.